KLAQ welcomes Bush and Stone Temple Pilots for a free show at Speaking Rock Entertainment Center, October 1st. Gavin Rossdale, lead singer and founder of Bush, it is good to see you. And it'll be really good to see you on October 1st.
Good to see you too, brother. Yeah, for sure. Let's hope everything stays on course and we'll be there.
Well, Gavin, many rockers are battling to get back into road shape. According to your videos, you've took pretty good care of yourself during that time, pandemic, lockdown, and such. What was the most valuable lesson you learned in 2020?
That health is everything. I think that without your health, without our health, a collective health, we have nothing. So what we've learned is to that's what I've learned. And along with some classical guitar and writing some new songs and just hanging out and spending time with my kids, that sort of stuff.
The last time we spoke back in last June, you also mentioned you were doing a lot of cooking. You were really getting into your culinary skills. Is that part of the reason why you've been able to keep yourself so healthy and in such good shape? Is you're cooking right and eating right?
Oh, I've always been into cooking actually. Well, since I was about sort of mid-20s, I got into it. But yeah, it's like anyone. I'm good at being a pig, and I'm good at being a sort of a healthy pig. So I kind of have moments where I'm, whoa, okay, you've had like a lot of bad stuff for a few days, but yeah, just find a balance in life. That's it. You know what I mean? But I do like staying fit, and I do like staying. I think if you're fit, you have that agility that you need to be on stage. You need to be in life. Really, it's good. It feels good.
When I interviewed you last summer prior to the KLAQ Backyard Bash Fantasy Concert event, one of the things you said is that The Kingdom was the hardest rockin' Bush record in years. Now, is that going to be the focus of this tour, since it's the first time you've had an opportunity to play these songs in front of a live crowd?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I've got to do the set list. What do you think? To a certain extent, you can't forsake the songs that people know, and then you want to play the newer stuff. So I think that we'll probably play all the singles off of The Kingdom, with Bullet Holes, Flowers on a Grave, and the song The Kingdom, and then maybe a couple of other songs off of there. And just, I don't know, just it's a high class problem, right? What songs to play. You don't want to lose people. I want people to kind of that familiar feeling as well, and so you don't want to lose that. So good question. I have no answer for it right now. I'm going to figure it out.
Well, if you need some help with the set list, that's an extensive library to choose from. I'll be more than happy. Greedy Fly is a must, in my opinion. You got to do that.
Is it?
That's just one of your most underrated songs.
Okay, that's good to know. Good to know.
One of the things that you were able to do for fans of Bush with The Kingdom is feature many of those songs during the Bush Virtual Live Experience. KLAQ carried it last June 18th. Yeah. And by the way, people, it can be purchased on Amazon. So if you missed it, or if you loved it to death and you want to see it again, just go to Amazon and make a purchase and support live music and support Bush. Now, would you ever consider doing something like that extravagant production again virtually? And if so, what would you do differently this time?
It was effectively like doing a live TV show. That's what it felt like. You know what I mean? You're in a studio, there's a few technicians all around, but you're fully aware that a lot of people are going to watch it. I think like 350,000 people saw it. So it's exciting. And even though you think you're in a vacuum, it doesn't feel like it when you're playing it. It's just like giving it and doing it. So I would do it. It sort of made me feel like, I think the Blue Man Group is like the smartest rock band ever. They kind of, they wrote some songs and they've like 16 productions around the world simultaneously. They can be on tour in 16 places, just paint yourself blue. So the doing the virtual show is a little bit of that, where you can kind of do it in your backyard and never have to leave, but nothing will take the place of people driving in, seeing a car park full of cars, the excitement, the sound, the band that's playing before you, the excitement of the crowd, and being kind of sometimes like unnerved by it, like, whoa, they're having way too much of a good time, or are we gonna be able to be as good as the band before us? All that psychology of playing. I think nothing will take the place of pure live music, but for sure, I don't mind doing another TV show.
When you play here on October 1st with Stone Temple Pilots at Speaking Rock Entertainment Center, it's going to be the first time Bush has been in El Paso for an absolute long time. The Street Fest show that you did a few years back was easily one of the best street fest we ever saw. Now, when you get back into town, are there any unique memories from all the times you've come to El Paso? I mean, what the heck are you going to do in your spare time, if there is any, when you're in the Sun City or visiting the borderland?
Well, there's a couple of great spots to go, a couple of local places where I've eaten, and that's always fun to get pure local food. We just a couple of cops and just a bunch of regulars. You're in the right place. So outside of that, it's just great. We have a great relationship with Texas. We've been there so much. It feels like we're always coming. So El Paso, beautiful, and it's and for a guy from London, it feels exotic to come to El Paso.
And we've got a good mountain range you can go hiking in if you want. Just options for things to do.
Right on. Cool.
I don't know if you're a hiker, a mountain biker, or just going to sleep until showtime because the grind on the road. Are you ready to get back into that?
It's been such a terrible time for everyone that the focus really has been about the wellness of the world, so to speak. You know what I mean? And I haven't really navel gazed about not being able to do my particular thing. But of course, when I see these pictures, so many pictures fans post, send to me of us playing live, I'm like, man, that feels a world away. So I'm real happy to have a plane ticket to my old world. I'm ready.
Is there anything about touring that you thought, geez, this is such a grind, but now looking back, you really, really missed?
Well, like touring is funny because it really takes a lot of heart and soul, no matter the band. It takes a lot of heart to have those days where you're like, wow, another hotel room, another view across a downtown city. And generally where you stay in places is generally empty. It's like, so it can be a bit challenging in the day. And you're like, oh, especially if you have kids, I'm like, man, this is right. And then nighttime comes and this is why we do it. And that's the payoff. And it's a great time. So, I mean, I just accept it for what it is. And the trick is, you're right. The trick is to have a life outside of the shows on the road. And by that, I mean, I can go and play tennis certain places. I go work out. Uh, I get onto my eater guide and I go find like the local great places to go eat. Get a sense of the locals and what people are eating. And I think that's a really fun thing to do. And you come across some great characters like that. And so that and resting and steam rooms and zipping it so my voice stays nicely intact. That's the road. I like it. I'm used to it. Like, I'm hardcore, so I can sit in the hotel room all day. I can play guitar. I can do emails. I can what I just know how to do it. It doesn't phase me as much as it can with some people. It can destroy people. Being on the road is a bit of a mind bender.
You've got a new movie, Habit, where you play a not so nice guy. In fact, in the early part of the trailer, you're kind of a dick. And then it looks like you go through one of those great epiphany changes. Characters, the character evolves. What can you tell us about your role in the movie Habit?
I play this guy, Eric, who is a washed up TV star and has drifted and lost and living as a drug dealer in the Hollywood Hills, taking care of young girls and young guys coming around for their fix. And I always get to play the bad guys. And I think it's to do with when people are really human, there's a humanity of it all that is interesting. And that's what I liked about this character. He's not a bad guy at all. He's not a criminal. He's no good, in fact. There are worse people in the movie who are straight up criminals. So he's just a guy out of his depth, just took 17 wrong turns. Most of us taken 12 wrong turns. This guy took 17. And so I hope that people feel for him, because he's not a terrible person. He just made some terrible decisions, and there is a difference.
Gavin, having formed Bush in 1992, that means you're coming up on 30 years of Bush. You got to do something special for that to commemorate that anniversary, or will you wait until 94 for the 30th anniversary of the release of 16 Stone?
It's funny because when the 20-year anniversary came up, and that was the label saw it, that was a big, hoo-ha, and it is a wonderful thing. There's a slight part of me, maybe it's my English side, I just got to keep moving, like momentum is the key to everything. And Einstein said that, right? As long as you keep moving forward, what is something he said. So I don't like to rest on the laurels too much. It is wonderful to think of it like that, but more important to me is the fact that those songs, all the songs, have endured that time, and that we can play, like you mentioned, Greedy Fly. It's wonderful to hear that. Thank you. And that we can play that song, or play Come Down, or play The Chemical Between Us, or play Glycerine, whatever. And it resonates with people. That's, to me, that's the celebration every day for that.
There are some of your songs, though, in the library that'll be a little challenging to perform live. One example I always give is Mouth. I think of Mouth as being that would be such a difficult song to really pull off because it's so complicated and intricate. Are there any songs that you would like to play, but you just haven't gotten around to taking that? How the heck am I going to do it yet?
Well, there's one song called English Fire, which I love that song. And it really was ahead of its time. And I want us to learn how to play that. But that's quite a challenging song to play. But it's sexy as all as any song we have. And I would like to reintroduce that, but I will not be giving my band a heart attack for this tour, because they'll be like, "Oh my God, no, we've got like an hour to be great, and that's too much," So, but the English Fire is the one song I would like to play that we haven't played. So, for the super fans, they probably know it, and the people that know me passing by, please check it out. It's a really progressive song.
Gavin, a lot of artists will say they're tired of playing their biggest hits over and over and over for decades. But in the case of Bush, as I mentioned earlier, you've got an extensive library with some really just quality rock hits. Is there one particular one that every time you play it, even though it may be the 1 millionth time you've done it, it just makes your heart swell and lets you realize what this band has been able to accomplish over 30 years now almost?
Come Down, usually, because we've found that that's the best way to end the set. We've never been able to follow it with anything. That song, it's so fresh because you still maintain the lyric is, I think that when you bring a song out, for example, like Greedy Fly belongs to you as much as it does to me. It's just out in the public domain. And so they never get old, because if they get tired, then I just don't play them for a few nights. You know what I mean? I rotate them. And so when I go back and I play Swallowed, I'm like, wow, I really enjoy playing this song. And there's been times where I got fed up of playing that song. So the thing is to sort of just to vary it enough that it keeps interesting for us too. But I don't aspire to that. I don't connect with that idea of not wanting to play your hits, because they're the songs that changed your life and that got you there, and the ones that people like the most. So it's an anathema to me to not play those songs, because you don't want to disappoint people. I'm in the business of pleasing people. Some people, performers, like they kind of be antagonistic, Manson or something like that, F you to the crowd. But I'm like, I love you. Thanks for coming again. Let's do this. I'm of a different mindset with that stuff. So I just appreciate the career we've been given. And so, no, I will always honor those songs that got us there.
Lastly, what would you like to say to your fans about what they're going to see and hear when they come to Speaking Rock Entertainment Center on October 1st for a co-headline show with Bush and Stone Temple Pilots?
It's actually really emotional, because we've really been through this terrible time together, and like it or not, whatever your background, whatever your belief system, we've all been affected by this. And to get to the point where we can all gather together and celebrate with music is it's really emotional. I mean, I've got to say, I think I'm going to be quite emotional about it, because it just, I don't know, it just got taken away so scarily and so easily that there's no guarantee it won't happen again. I mean, I'm not a paranoid person, but I definitely can be grateful and be on the hallowed ground of a stage there in El Paso, and just be very grateful.
Well, we're thrilled to have you back in the borderland again. Looking forward to Bush, October 1st, Speaking Rock Entertainment Center. So I speak on behalf of all the high desert behind me in view, that everything from every resident of the borderland to every little critter climbing in the Franklin Mountains says, welcome back to town, Bush. See you October 1st.
Thank you so much.